Good morning, my friends. Welcome to this episode of Healing Your Codependency. I'm Marshall Bircher, and I'm your guide in transforming your codependency into freedom, peace, and belonging in your life, helping you become yourself. So I'm excited to be here with you today in our episode. Today we're jumping into the second necessity. So our previous episode, we talked about the necessity for emotional safety. Today, we're talking about the necessity of worth. So in codependency, worth is something that is derived from outside of ourselves. It's resourced outside of ourselves. We find our worth through someone else's approval. We find our worth through someone else loving us. We find our worth through the praise and appreciation of people that people give us because of our accomplishments. We find our worth in the efforting we do and how much striving we do or performance we do or proving ourselves. And we can find our worth through a sense of trying to be perfect. So our worth is externally sourced. It's brought in by these external factors and conditions. We internally have what I call a conditional sense of worth. And that internalized sense of conditional worth is completely governed by these external factors. And when our worth is externally governed, we become highly susceptible to manipulation, love bombing, and control tactics by unhealthy individuals. This is why a lot of the marketing we have in our world is so effective, is it is hitting us in areas where we feel insecure about our worth because we have been taught to believe that our worth is conditional. In my work, I call this transactional worth. Transactional worth is worth that is earned based on benefit the other person experiences. In other words, I'm worthy if they like what I did. I'm not worthy if they don't. So it can be taken, it can be granted, that kind of thing. That's a very scary place for the body to be, because the body needs a sense of reliable worth in order to feel safe enough to know itself, to discover itself, to express itself in the world. So what do we do here? Well, in codependency, that worth again is tangled up in these external factors, and rightly so, because, hey, if I was anchored in my worth, I'd be advocating for myself. And in unhealthy relationships where I have dependencies on them for my safety or my well-being, for my livelihood, advocating is a very, very risky game to play, so have fun. And that fawning is just the displacement of my worth, or giving it to them and then believing them as the authority over my worth, over my life. Our work here now in self-worth is to become independent of these conditions. It's a big work. It's the center of all my work. So my work, when we know our indomitable worth, we're anchored in it, we start to discover who we want to be. We start to choose the kind of person we want to be in the world and how we want to express ourselves. We also gain access to our own vision, our own voice, our own internal guidance and purpose system. It's alive within us. It's our intuition. It's our creative brilliance. It's the things that bring us alive, that gets us in contact with our joy again. Our indomitable worth is central to becoming who you are. It is also where we gain the ability to advocate for ourselves. So what is this indomitable worth, this independent self-worth? Well, it is something we are made of. So in my work, we are made of worth. And what we do, what we focus on, is not cultivating or creating this worth. Like, we're not going out there and building up our self-esteem, because self-esteem is a transactional concept. It's always, at least the models I was trained in and taught in and had in therapy and self-help, was, well, look at the good things you do. Look at your skills. Look at how people liked this thing or that thing. That's transactional. That's blending my worth with a performance metric that when I fail or no longer can do it, where's my worth go? Yeah, it goes out the door. It's like I've got a balloon called worth and I'm putting holes in it, and then I got to keep putting air into it, but those holes are always there, and sometimes they grow. The whole thing just fails. So self-esteem is not something I teach. Independent self-worth is coming into the knowledge that we have intrinsic value, and the work here is to become attuned to it, trust it, and then embody and express it. That's it. So we come to know it. It's something that we feel, we sense, we orient to. And then as we practice that orientation, allowing it to take up more and more space in our awareness, giving it a little more trust here and there, allowing it to guide us a little more here and a little more there, we gain experience that then expands our embodiment of that worth. And then we come to know that our worth is truly sovereign, that's truly independent of approval, of rejection, of success, of failure. And that is where we are able to become who we are freely. This enables us to choose relationships that matter to us, that work for us. It enables us to say no to relationships that don't. It enables us to step into our creative joy, to create things that matter to us so that we can choose either businesses or purposes or careers that really resonate for us in that moment. And it allows us and empowers us to make changes in that as we grow. That's the beauty of independent self-worth, is now we're no longer worried about getting people to like or love us. We're no longer worried about the meaning or significance of rejection. We're no longer worried about being approved of or belonging. Instead, we are creating belonging because we are operating from who we are, and then we are choosing people, places, and things that naturally resonate with us, that choose us as well. And we build that interdependency there. This is why independent self-worth is the center of all my work. It's why in Foundation, we spend 5 weeks on unblending our worth from others and coming into contact with that indomitable worth and building the awareness and connection or trust in it. And then in Transformation System, we expand, we dive deep into embodying it and becoming it. That's the work. And we spend a lot of time on that. This is how you become free completely of all your codependency. Because when you're anchored in self-worth, you're able to build emotional safety faster and quicker for yourself, and you're able to build belonging more effectively because you're no longer seeking to be approved of or to be loved. What you're seeking is people, places, and things that respond to you with love, with care, with interest, because they value who you are. And that only happens because we value who we are. See? And I say it only happens there, and I know that can be controversial, but when I love myself and I am anchored in my own self-worth, I am more available to receiving that from people who love and like me just as I am. Whereas when I'm in my transactional worth, I might be ignoring that. I might be completely tuned out to those signals, or I might be receiving it, but I have huge internal anxieties and fears. My anxious or avoidant attachment systems get activated, and I'm like, oh, I got to control this in some way so I feel safe, because again, my worth is tied up in them. But if my worth is independent of them, then my attachment system can calm. I can become more emotionally available. I can be more playful and creative. Thus, organically, I'm building this natural, loving resonance with others and with life that lasts. That's why this is central to my work. So in Foundation, we focus on self-worth, focus on blending it from our performance. We unblend it from approval and rejection. We tap into our indomitable worth and its intrinsic presence in our life, and we begin to cultivate trust in that awareness so that you start to experience that worth for yourself. We start January 22nd. Classes on Mondays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Recordings are released on Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m. You get lifetime access to the recordings, which is the on-demand edition, and you get lifetime access to the live edition. So you can attend the classes anytime I teach them. And you can do it all on your own pace. Do it at your own pace. I don't measure people's performance in it. Most students do one class a week and then one practice a week. The homework's like 20 minutes to 30 minutes a week at max. Most of the homework's designed to be done throughout your daily life. So there's a lot of ease and flexibility in the course design so that you can make this work for you. You can get more information on that in the description below or my website at healyourcodependency.com. My friends, independent self-worth is crucial to your freedom from codependency. It's crucial to that sense of peace that you seek. to that sense of self-worth and self-love that you crave to have in your world, and to knowing who you are, to being real again. So today I want to give you a little practice you can take away from our episode today, and that is a what shifts question to explore for yourself. And that what shifts question is, what shifts if I trust just a bit that my worth is independent of other people's approval or rejection? Let yourself explore that a bit, see what's there in your world, and we'll build on that in the foundation course. Come join us. I invite you to be one of my students. I would love the privilege to add to your world and your life so that you can become more and more who you are and more free from your codependency. So thank you for your time and attention, my friends. Go play with that question. I'll see you in our next episode where we explore belonging and its crucial and essential nature to our freedom from codependency. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye. So thank you for watching this episode. And you want more episodes like this, check out the recommended video above. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're ready to take the leap and heal your codependency, check out my workshop linked below on how to heal codependency permanently. Then you can understand how I help you restore safety, connection, and worth in your life, and how that liberates you from your codependency and empowers you in creating the relationships, the satisfaction, fulfillment you want in your life. So check that out below. Thank you again for showing up, guys. Bye-bye.